Today in this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys on how you can basically throw a good jab. Now just before I do get started, my name is Zulkir Rahman. Some of you guys might actually notice me from my Instagram page where I teach boxing. About myself, I'm a professional boxer and been in the game for many years. So what I'm going to be teaching in this video today is how you can simply jab. There's a saying that goes around, a good right hand can take you around the block, but a good jab can take you around the world. That's how important the jab is. Some of the best boxers have the best jabs in the world. You know, if you're talking about Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roy Jones, and many others. So what I'm going to show you guys is how to do a jab in the correct form and position. So what you want to basically do is you want to get into stance, right? So the reason why you want to get into your stance is because you want to maintain your balance, right? And what you want to do is you want to put your hands up, right? So you don't want to keep your hands too open, because that way you're open to body shots and you're more prone to get hit. What you want to simply do is you want to keep your guard tight, so that way your body's protected and your face and your chin is protected. Now what you want to simply do is when you throw a jab, you want to keep everything in a straight line. The straighter the line, the quicker your jab lands. Whether it's fast or not, it doesn't really matter, as long as the technique is right. So what I'm going to show you right now is how I throw a jab. So here we are, I'm in my position right now. I've got my hands up. Whilst I jab, as you can see my front arm, I'm jabbing with my left hand. And as you can see, I'm twisting my arm with my hand. I'll do that one more time. I'm doing that one more time, look. I'm doing it and I've twisted my arm and my hand. Because what you want to do is when you're landing a jab, you want to make sure all four of these knuckles are going to land on your opponent to get maximum power and leverage, right? So I'll do it one more time, and here we are. Now once you throw this jab, you want to make sure your right hand is where it's at, just for protection in case your opponent does decide to punch. And what you also want to do is making sure that when you're coming back with your hand, that your hand comes back to your face, just for protection in case your opponent does throw a punch straight after you jab. And another thing is, when you're throwing a jab, you want to tuck your chin into your shoulder, because in case if you do throw a jab and your opponent comes back with a right hand, you want to make sure that they have the least chance possible of landing a punch on you while you're throwing a punch. So if I've got my tin tucked here underneath my shoulder, and I've also have my hand here, if my opponent throws a right hand, they'll end up hitting my shoulder instead of my face, right? So what I'll simply do is show you in a faster motion. So I'll just show you one more time how I do it. So here we are. You jab. You want to keep everything straight. So when you're jabbing, you don't want to make sure your elbow's coming out when you're jabbing. You want to keep everything straight. So here I am in stance. So I'm right-handed. So when you're right-handed, you want to make sure your left leg's in front and your right legs are back. And if you're left-handed, you want to make sure your right leg's at the front and your left leg's at the back. So I'll do another video on stance and technique and positioning on footwork. But what I'm simply going to be showing you guys is how you jab going forward and going back. Because one thing you have to understand is, if you're jabbing and you're just standing in the same place, what simply happens is, if your opponent's going back, you're not going to land. And if your opponent's coming towards you to throw a punch, you might not get full maximum leverage on your punch. So it's very important to learn these things. So while I'm going to jab, if I'm jabbing to come forward, I have to basically move forward with my front foot first. So my lead foot, I move forward first with my jab, and then my back foot. So I'll give you an example. If you can see, whilst I throw a jab, I move forward with my front foot, and then I move forward with my back foot. Let's do that one more time. Jab. One more time. As I move forward, my front foot is also going to move forward with my jab. So here we are. When I jab, my front foot goes forward. Then you're going to go back. Step back with your back foot first and then your front foot. Now if you're going to jab going backwards, what you simply want to do is throw the jab, but instead of just throwing the jab, this time you're going to move back with your back foot. So I step back. I'll do that again. Now the reason why you want to do that is to basically, if your opponent is coming at you and you've thrown a jab, now it's basically set you up. If your opponent's going to come rushing right into you, you've got more room to throw a right hand as well now, right? So you always want to make sure that you've got enough room to punch. That's why technique is very important. So I'll do it one more time for you guys, coming forward and coming back. So jab coming forward and jab going back. One more time. Now that's the end of the video, guys. If you guys don't mind, subscribe to my channel, drop a comment below, like it, and share it with people who basically want to learn boxing. What video would you guys like me to do next? Drop a comment below.